of Jewel Box. Thank you, Vidita. Next, we have Mr. Aryan Bawa, who is a fourth generation jeweler and visionary behind Iris Fine Jewels. Aryan brings a fresh global perspective shaped by his studies at UBC in Canada. Under his leadership, Iris Fine Jewels has introduced India's first hip hop jewelry line, blending high fashion with bold modern culture. We're delighted to have you, Mr. Aryan, today. Next up, we have Ms. Nikita Prasad, who's the co founder and head of design at Jiva, a well known is also a visionary behind one of India's leading silver jewelry brands, a graduate of the National Institute of Fashion Technology. She leverages her extensive experience with renowned jewelry houses to create affordable, fine jewelry featuring contemporary designs. Miss Nikita, I want you to stand up. Thank you for coming today. And last but not the least, we have Mr. Adit Bhansali, who is the co founder of Firefly Diamonds, a design led lab grown diamond jewelry brand for the modern consumer. Firefly launched in 2024 with a strong management team that has decades of jewelry design and manufacturing expertise. Before founding Firefly, Adit studied at Princeton University, after which he worked at Boston Consulting Group in New York and at Westbridge Capital. Mr. Adit, I'd like you to stand as well. Thank you for coming today. We have a moderator for today's session, who is none other than Mr. Anil Prabhakar. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce him. He is a well known journalist and an industry analyst. Mr. Prabhakar, I'd like to invite you on stage.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year. Is it on? Okay. Did you wish me? I think I forgot my hearing aid at home. Did you wish me? That's better. So I don't need hearing aids. Thank you. Thank you so much. You'll wonder Anil Prabhakar is a megalomaniac. All youngsters sitting here and he's there on the stage. You're partly right. Because I have old, obsolete ideas. Once these people come on the stage, I am not required. So I'll make most of it, most of the time that I'm getting now. Okay, there are three types of people in all walks of life, including business. The first type of people, they know what they know. They're very focused and they do business in a focused manner. The second type of people are, they know what they know, but they also know what they don't know. That's a learning mindset. Third type of people, people who don't know what they don't know. I call them MBAs. Mane baddu avde છે. So I think in this audience, there are all types of people. Let's not pinpoint. And thank you for being here. Make some noise when the appropriate time comes, when the youngsters come on the stage. But the thing is, we have a very exciting topic today. What is the topic? On one hand, we have the consumer category, new consumer category, which is lab grown diamonds. On the other hand, we have Gen Z and Millennials, the consumer class. And both the categories are widely discussed and debated, researched. How do we unite them together? Strategy. What is strategy? You sell what you have to the right audience. That's as simple as that. But it is easier said than done, I think. So I'll not take much of your time. Who is a millennial? And everybody knows. But I have a short video that will put the things into perspective. Millennial video, please.
30 billion US dollars was spent by the Indian millennial generation during the years 2020 and 2021 and 2022. Who are millennials? Okay, the generation that was born between the years 1981 and 1996. Did you know that the largest workforce in the world happens to be Indian? Did you also know that the largest millennial population in the world is also Indian? So just do that. It's A plus B the whole square. Largest workforce, largest millennial population. That means 70% of Indian households have a millennial breadwinner, from job creators to highly skilled job seekers, from content creators to social activists, from people who are chefs to people who are designers. Everywhere you go, you see a millennial. These are the guys who are driving India's growth. And we are also driving the economy by adding more value. You want to participate in this growth? Grow now. Do the things right now. You know why? Because when the country grows, you will also grow along with it.
Great. How many of you are millennials here? Please raise your hands. Quite a few, quite a few. So the next category is Gen Z. I don't understand ABCD तो Z तक पहुंच गया अभी क्या करें? So the thing is, the Gen Z and millennials, they have some common characteristics, but there is one distinguishing factor, a very predominant one. So before I tell what it is, how many of you own iPhone here? Please raise your hand. How many iPhone? Okay, okay. So actually, the iPhone is the differentiator. I'll tell you why. iPhone was launched in the year 2007. So the eldest Gen Z was 10, 11 years old. So he was introduced to the iPhone in formative stages. So they are called digital natives. Now, what differentiates them from the millennials is the fact that millennials also witnessed the launch of iPhone when they were in their 20s. So there was a learning curve involved for millennials. First, they got used to desktop, laptops, dial up modem, feature phone, and then finally iPhone. What happened that the millennials, to theek hai, because they also have purchasing power, but Gen Z got the world in their hands immediately. And they are much faster. They are, as I said, digital native. They are very fast in terms of technology. They adapt to various technologies very fast. So I was saying, iPhone did many things to many people. It rendered a lot of products obsolete. You don't need a diary. You don't need a pen. You don't need a television. You don't need a book. One interesting thing, what iPhone did was it made the mirror obsolete. Ladies don't need to carry a mirror in their purse. Cell phone can do that. Smartphone can do that. So I have another short video about Gen Z. Please play that. Gen Z video. Between 1997 and 2012, you might struggle to find a job in 2025. A study revealed that one in every six companies doesn't want to hire Gen Z freshers, and 60% of US companies have fired at least one Gen Z employee soon after onboarding. This hiring shift isn't just due to old school management thinking, but there are three key reasons. 55% of employers report that Gen Z don't want to take constructive feedback, impacting their growth and adaptability. Studies also show that many Gen Z are mouse jigglers. They appear productive while avoiding accountability and stress. And lastly, Gen Z prefers remote work, switches jobs every 2 years, and hesitates to commit long term. They don't plan to stay in one place. So it's now crucial for Gen Z to embrace feedback, prioritize work ethics, and take ownership of their responsibilities. Share your thoughts in the comments and follow full disclosure for more. Okay, so I deliberately showed this because it talks negatively about the Gen Z guys. But the fact is, I admire them. See, this Gen Z, there is a generation gap. I was always overawed by my father. You know, I had father issues. 40 years later, I have daughter issues. They know more than me. They earn more than me. I admire them. I love them. But see, ultimately, every family, if you see Bollywood movies, is a dysfunctional family. Every Indian family is dysfunctional. So what they watch, My goodness. Why I'm saying this? Because whatever characteristics, behaviors are there, the marketers have to take into consideration if you want to talk to them. They are multi-screen users, and what they watch, Call Me by Emily in Paris. They look very nice, but the kind of choices this Emily makes, oh my goodness, तौबा 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 मैं तो ऐसा कभी नहीं कर सकता. But anyway, these people work very hard, and but when I am having lunch, they have not even woken up. So the time frames are different. They live in different zones, but they are very progressive. All this LGBTQ thingy and live-in relationship, yeah, something alien. But now people are accepting. वो बच्चे अपने generation को सुधार रहे हैं. And you saw this video. That lady goes on and on. Millennials ठीक है उन्होंने नौकरी किया प्रोफेशनल है जेंसीज डोंट नीड अ जॉब वो बोलते हैं take a walk I'll start my own company look at the startups most of them are started by Gen Z okay I will not give much gyan because honestly speaking I'm here to learn from all of you the panelists as well as thank you for coming so many of them I'm very happy and I know you have not come for me you come for the panelists but that's fine and the topic also is very hot so thank you for coming and what I'll do now is invite one of them one by one so that you see their faces and then whatever impression you had about me megalomaniac you will find that it is not true so let's begin with I think ladies first Nikita please come.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As Anil already introduced me, I'm Nikita and I'm the co-founder of Jiva. Today, we are here to, share the strategies of marketing for millennials and Gen Z. So for doing that, I think it is very important to tell you that a little bit about my background about Jiva. So Jiva started as a purely online silver jewelry brand back in 2019, and when we started we had not thought that we will enter the space of lab grown diamonds 3 years later, but I will tell you that our journey took a very interesting turn 2 years back when we started getting requests for gold in our silver store, and seeing the traction of lab grown diamond, we decided to start lab grown with 14 and 18 karat gold, and did a just small experiment by keeping it in 4 5 of our stores, and got such a great response because there was a likelihood between the consumer who is purchasing lab grown and who was purchasing the silver jewelry, and the common thing was it was a everyday wear jewelry that they were looking for, and our target audience is millennials, so very well gelled with the brand, and today we have 170 stores, and we decided to keep lab grown in all of the stores, and uh, I will be more than happy to share the marketing strategies with you later in the panel. I would request to please play the video. Thank you.
Hi everyone, a very good afternoon. My name is Vidita and he is Nipun, and we are the siblings who founded Jewel Box. Now, interestingly, we don't hail from a family of jewelers. In fact, nobody in even our third degree connections in the family happens to be a jeweler. So we hail from a family of professionals. Father has a CA firm, grandfather is an income tax practitioner, and we are both qualified CAs. So when we told everyone in the family that we wanted to start a jewelry business, and not just any jewelry business, but lab grown diamond jewelry business, a lot of eyebrows were raised, you can imagine. But it's been a 2.5-year-old journey, and it's been a very gratifying one. Currently, we have 7 stores in 5 cities, and looking forward to many more this year and in future. Nipun and I actually started in 2022. In 2021, we stumbled upon lab grown diamonds for the first time. And the very obvious question that struck us was, if exact substitutes of diamonds have existed since 2008, why do people not know about it? So we were both pursuing our own careers. He was running an ad tech business. I was working with a corporate, and but we developed such a strong conviction for the category that we decided to quit whatever we were doing and dive into this. I think to know more about Jewel Box, I just request to play the video.
Thank you. So I'll just give a brief background about ourselves. Way back in 2014, we started an ad tech company both together called Plan My Ad. We were continuing that, but when we stumbled upon lab grown diamonds, we realized one thing, that as the topic for today is how do you market lab grown diamonds to millennials and Gen Z. We realized that it's a big market out there. With the correct marketing strategies, I think a market could be created. And in 2021, 22, there was absolutely no talk about lab grown diamonds, unlike today when it is all out in the media. So I think today's session would be very interesting, and happy to be a part of the panel.
Hi everyone, I'm Adit Mansali from Firefly Diamonds. Not many of you guys might be knowing about us yet. We just launched around a year and a half back. This brand was founded by my brother and I. We both come from a jewelry background, but our family is in the jewelry manufacturing side of things, on the natural diamond side. So when we decided we wanted to come into lab grown and focus on retail, there was a little bit of a challenge and an interesting kind of dilemma that we got into there. But I think we're very happy with the decision that we made, and especially with the progress we've seen over the last year and a half in the industry more broadly. We opened our first store in Mumbai only in October this past year. And after that, we've launched in Pune, and we'll be opening in Bangalore and Hyderabad later this month. So it's been a very exciting journey so far. I think there's a lot of things that we didn't expect. I think when we opened first, in terms of how much awareness already exists about lab grown and about, I think, consumer interest in the space, the questions that people are asking when they come into our stores. Initially, we were confused about whether, is lab grown something you want to proudly display outside your store? Is that something that you want to talk about as soon as the customer walks in, or is that going to scare people away? And we initially decided not to, but I think very quickly after speaking with consumers, we kind of realized that if we talk about it, there's a lot of interest in this space, a lot of people who want to learn about it, and we can actually bring in a lot of new customers into the stores. So we've kind of switched the format very quickly, and people come in. The first thing they see is Firefly lab grown diamonds. The first thing we show them when they come in is the whole story of how a lab grown diamond is made. And that starts the kind of education process for the consumer. So I think we'll talk more about the other marketing strategies later in the panel. But I think one of the most important things we've learned is that I think India as a market is definitely very excited about the potential here. And I think if, all of us who are on the panel today and all the other retailers in the space right now, there's a lot of us. But if we do the job correctly of educating the consumer, they walk in the store and then they should leave the store with at least a positive impression of what lab-grown diamonds are and at least have that confidence that the piece is exactly the same. I think then the whole conversation kind of shifts entirely. Like you don't need to close the sale by offering some huge discounts or something on the first visit when the customer walks in. But if you can just explain to them and show them and give them that confidence, then the second time, the third time, you can engage with that customer again and again. And I genuinely feel like we've already seen this just in a few months, but once you're able to get them in and give them that one product, and then they wear that product every single day for a week, a month, and then realize, okay, this is exactly the same thing, it's more and more likely then that they'll come for the second purchase to you again. So I think it's going to be very interesting, I think, the next couple of years as well, seeing how this evolves. But I definitely feel like there's an opportunity here for us to really bring in the mass population of India, the rising middle class, and this is the perfect product for them. You can play videos. So I think, yeah, just one more thing to add. I think you can kind of see it from the video of a photo shoot as well. But the area we're focusing on is slightly more on kind of the premium end of the lab grown space. I think like just us on the panel and, within the whole market, there's a lot of opportunity both in the mass segment, mass premium, and on the luxury side. So I think there's going to be room for the category to grow out in all the segments. So, yeah.
Hello everyone. My name is Arun Baba. I'm the founder of Iris Fine Jewels. As of how my brand started, I started off like a year and a half ago, and for me it has been an amazing journey because I told my dad when I was a kid that dude, never want to be a jeweler because I hated how he worked all day. But guess what? I'm again a jeweler myself, and honestly speaking, my brand Iris Fine Jewel is all about being super fly, which for a Gen Z, as I am a Gen Z, Gen Zs are considered the cool kids of the society, and like for me, I'm a cool kid of the jewelry industry. No offense to our millennials, sorry guys. And second of all, I feel the entire industry is a amazingly growing industry, and if I talk about Gen Zs, these would transform into the consumers as we grow up. And as of now, they do not have the decision making power in their family, but soon they would have that edge. And as of what my brand does it, we specialize in specifically hip hop lab grown diamond jewelry, and we do keep other segments as well. So for my brand is more of mass premium going up to the luxury segment. And I would not bore you by putting up a silly video on the TV, but I do have my cool store video, so could you please kindly like pull it up on the screen? Thank you. So as you just saw, like it's all about blingy, it's all about being flashy. मेरे हिसाब से I'll switch to हिंदी as of now क्योंकि jewelry पहनने के लिए होती है अपनी closet में सजाने के लिए नहीं. तो भाई jewelry पहनो, diamonds पहनो and be super fly guys. Thank you.
You know what? This is a dream panel, moderator's delight. We have representation from millennials. We have two Gen Z guys, Adit and Aryan. We have two women. And the topic is about marketing. So, Vidita and Likita, of course, Nipun, they have marketed the concept of lab grown diamond jewelry not only to their consumers but to the investor fraternity as well. I think that's a great achievement. Give them a big hand. Make some noise, guys. Make some noise. Okay. So I mentioned Gen Z, I mentioned millennials. Have you heard the term Henry? It's an acronym. Henry. Has anybody heard Henry? It's not a proper noun. It's an acronym. High earners, not rich yet. Henrys. So this Henrys, there is an overlap. I will not go by the age profile and everything. But this is the segment that you should look at because they are rich by traditional standards. But because the cost of acquiring assets like a home or a fancy car, it's galloping. So these guys have postponed the purchase, delayed gratification. See, Gen Z is all about instant gratification. And I should give credit to Nikita. What she has done is she has made her jewelry Jiva available on Blinkit. These Gen Zs are impatient people. They change their mind, fat. Blinkit is a good achievement. Give her a big hand again. By the way, she is not my client, so don't get any ideas. So Henrys are the ideal profile for all of you because they want diamonds. They will ultimately buy diamonds. But lab grown diamonds are bridge to luxury. And again, this luxury is the most misunderstood term. Luxury is very subjective. Basic necessities, comfort, and luxury. Everybody knows that pyramid. But when you talk about luxury brand, not a single brand in India is a luxury brand. Take it from me. Tanishq is not a luxury brand. They are trying to build, what is that brand? Zoya as a luxury brand. Zoya, for the last, they launched 10, 12 years ago. Today, what is the turnover? 400 crores and they're still making a loss. But they want to build it as a, and Titan can do it, Tanishq can do it. Here, अगर आप luxury में invest करना चाहते हैं brand में, तो first go and visit the Geo World Plaza. Has anyone gone there? How many of you have gone there? Please raise your hands. Not a single brand, not a single Indian brand is present there. So if you can get a space in that mall, you're a luxury brand. Okay. And this is the world-class venue today. So what I'm trying to say is your aspiration for luxury is fine. You start investing your resources, time, efforts, money. But unfortunately, in our industry, we understand price, but we don't understand value. We understand deals, don't understand investment. And I'm generalizing it because of the nature of the business we are in. So no offense meant. I am not an expert in luxury. I'm a student of luxury. I have worked for luxury brands. So I am going to share a short video. The lady will make things clear about luxury in less than a minute. Let me tell you who she is. Have you heard the name Leena Nair? Anybody has heard the name Leena? Yes. How many of you? Only two people. Okay. Leena Nair. She is the CEO of Chanel. She was born and brought up in Kolhapur. She used to travel by a cycle. Just imagine an Indian girl who worked for FMCG brand now has become the CEO of Chanel. Not just a luxury brand, a snobbish French luxury brand. So you have to take her word for granted. Please play that luxury video featuring Leena.
It's when I look back, the toughest transition actually was from FMCG to luxury. Because for 30 years it was mass markets. You make 1 billion sachets a day. You're available everywhere. You over communicate. You're on every billboard. You're 400 brands. It's mass, mass, mass. And luxury is completely contrast. You make very little. You make like 5 pink bags. It's like a work of art. You don't know an artist who makes 500 paintings of the same type. This is like a work of art. You make those 5 bags and you let people see them, discover them, yearn for them, desire them, not find it in New York, go looking for them in Paris, not find them in Paris, but dream about them. It's a completely different mindset. It's precious, it's rare, it's unique. Everything is made by hand. It takes 180 steps to make a bag. It's 5 years on working on dummy bags before you can work on a classic, iconic Chanel bag. So it's completely different.
So, how many how many in this room want to build a luxury brand? It's tough. Well, nice. You also good, good. Maybe your grandchildren will reap the benefits. See, today what happens is Hindustan Unilever makes a lot of money, tons of money. Profits are more. It's available everywhere. Tell me how many Chanel stores we have in India? We have one in Mumbai, two in Delhi. They don't sell jewelry, they don't sell watches. They sell beauty and cosmetics. And the most famous product is Chanel 5, which everybody has been exposed to. We get this entry to the world of Chanel. And most importantly, Chanel products are not available on e-commerce. You have to visit their store to buy it. Another thing, luxury brand, all luxury brands are going through a shakeout. Chanel doubled their turnover in the last 2 years and making more money. Should we give the credit to Lina? Yes, why not? And it is another aspect of Chanel which I love. I hated the brand, but since the Indian has taken over, I feel, oh, Chanel. Louis Vuitton or Gucci, loud brands. Everywhere. They don't understand subtlety. Go to Hong Kong, everywhere you'll find hoardings. You see people wearing shoes and belts, huge logos. I mean, what are you saying here? I mean, it's a question of taste. Loud luxury if you want, okay. You afford, you buy it. Gucci is all those same. But what about when you talk about silent luxury? Hermes, Chanel, Bottega Veneta. Bottega Veneta doesn't use a logo. ये मेरा ज्ञान खत्म हो गया यहाँ पे ठीक है दूसरी बात ये है कि everybody wants to talk about sustainability. Yes, lab grown diamonds are more sustainable compared to natural mined counterparts, but they are not 100% sustainable. Sustainability doesn't only mean environment. It's gone beyond that, ESG. So again, I'm not going to give you a lecture on ESG, but let me play a video again featuring two Indian ladies, Lina, and there's another girl, Aisha. My last video, which is
generation of consumers with slightly different preferences. There's a lot more value in individualism, personal expression. Customers, like you said, are looking to sustainability. They want ethically sourced products. How is Chanel adapting its strategy and maybe even its product line to engage these new consumers?
As I said, Gen Z is 30% of luxury consumers. Not right now, but going to be by 2030. But right now itself, it's one of the fastest growing trajectories. And they buy luxury because they buy they buy because they know it lasts. Yeah. I want you to buy a Chanel product and I want you to keep it and cherish it. Keep that bag forever, for generations. Hand it over to your daughter-in-laws, etc. It's the memories that count. So they buy with a buy less mindset. They buy with a buy to invest mindset. So for me, sustainability is a non-negotiable in luxury. You make less, you allow it to restore for longer, you keep the life cycle for long, and that's generally a principle of sustainability. But we have set what we call a Chanel sustainability ambition in place. We are one of the few luxury brands, I think we're among 2 luxury brands that has set a net zero 2040 commitment. So we are really serious about reducing our carbon emissions. We invest in circularity. So we are in restoration of our products for long. We create a lot of upcycled products. All our staff uniforms are made from upcycled Chanel products. We believe in dignity and opportunity for everybody working in our value chain. We are doing a lot to promote the autonomy of women and girls everywhere. So We are taking sustainability very seriously. We are accelerating the journey. We want to be a role model in the luxury sector. We want everyone to look at Chanel and say, whoa, they're the people who've got sustainability right and are doing it in an exemplary way.
I was telling you about, her name is Ayesha Karnik. She's doing in her second year MBA. And I think all of you should watch the entire video, which is available on YouTube. She's from Stanford Business School. So I think then that should be good enough. Another thing which I wanted to say that I mentioned briefly about ESG. So yesterday I gave an example of Patagonia. See this fast fashion. How many of you from the audience, Zudio कितने लोग खरीदते हैं? How many people buy Zudio? One, two, three, four. Quite a few. See what Zudio does is, see there is a duality in terms of consumer behavior. You think that a person who has an iPhone will never buy a Zudio product, but it's not so, because they have a different value system and how to calculate or how to measure value. It's up to the Gen Z and millennials. So I will invite all of you to take your seats. So how we are going to sit is millennials this side, Gen Z this side, okay, and I'll sit in the middle. I want to hog all the limelight. So एक छोटी सी बात मैं कहता हूँ, we are talking about fashion category, right? It is the highest polluter in the world. ये कपड़े जो खरीदते हैं ना fast fashion ना, when you talk about jewelry or any luxury product, buy less, buy better. Now all these people, you know, they are very proud. We open 10 stores, 15 stores, 20 stores, 30 stores. Opening a store, number of stores is not an achievement according to me. Every store has to make tons of money. And if you see the trend globally, people are building huge stores, big stores, but less number of stores. I mean, you should not, it's up to you. I mean, if you have to give the experience to people. Another very important aspect of Patagonia, you know, हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है कि इतना प्रेशर होता है, बेचो बेचो माल बेचो. What Patagonia has done is they promote recycled clothes, altered clothes, old clothes. The first time I was exposed to Patagonia was when my daughter, who lives in the US, presented me with a jacket. And the recycled, altered jacket cost more than what you buy. So it commands a premium. And another aspect of Patagonia, they don't want to go public. So if you go public, there is always a pressure, profitability, sale, quarterly basis. बोलते हमको नहीं करना है. And the most interesting aspect, यूएस के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा बिक्री कब होती है? हॉलीडे सीजन में होती है, क्रिसमस, न्यू ईयर. All their stores are closed on Christmas Day and 31st. People who want to buy, they have to buy in advance. क्या हम लोग कर सकते हैं? मेरे ख्याल से तो नहीं कर सकते. So with these thoughts, we'll initiate with the conversation. Thank you. Okay, guys. So I will just bounce off a few ideas, and I want each one of you to share your views. You know Jeff Bezos, right? Everybody knows Jeff Bezos. So during his interview, somebody asked him, Mr. Bezos, what are the changes taking place? What do you see changing in next 10 years? So this guy said, okay, very interesting question. But I wonder why nobody is asking me what is not going to change in the next 10 years. Because strategies are built on constants. What is not going to change in the next 10 years? What is going to remain as it is? He said, in my business, what do consumers want? Consumers want low prices, fast delivery, and wide choices. So our business is slightly different. So we can talk about it. Please, any one of you, start. Express your views. What are your views? What is not going to change, and how are you building your strategy based on those concepts? Anyone, please.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
So I think in our business, one thing that's definitely not going to change is people's love for jewelry, especially Indians. So And I say that with experience because growing up, I have seen, my father selling gold and silver in his store, and then, seeing the incoming of, e-commerce with brands like, ourselves, Jiva, where, silver got the limelight. So, like over time, I've seen there is change in the preference of the material and not only preference, but I think the availability also. There was a time when, gold was the only go-to metal for jewelry, but then came imitation, then silver, and now, and diamond has been there since forever, and now the lab-grown diamond coming into the picture. So yeah, I think, that's an interesting world to be in.
Okay. Anybody else? Adit?
Yeah, I think two things. I think the first is, like you mentioned, I think people's desire for diamonds is definitely not going to go anywhere. I think the other thing that also I think should continue to stay constant is I think people's preference for brands in general. I think that's been a big rising kind of trend across the world and definitely in India as well, across categories. Like brands are becoming more important. People are preferring to go to them because there's trust or there's quality or there's some kind of marketing that they've done that has some story. And I think in jewelry, it's a slightly different place because your logo is rarely on the piece of jewelry. So the person can't like show it off as much. But I still think it plays an important role in the choice that the person is making because there's a reason people buy from Tanishq. It's because of the brand name that they have, the trust factor that exists over there. So I think as we at Firefly are also thinking about the future, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, the brand that you have to create has to be something that will continue to endure. Otherwise, a lot of people are going to come into this space. Things are definitely going to change. Prices, designs, all of that stuff will change over the next 5, 10 years. Preferences also. But if you're able to build something that endures, then I think people will still continue to prefer that brand for some reason. And that'll be what kind of makes you successful in the long run.
Okay.
I like to totally add on that building a brand is the key as of now and in past as well. Brand building and brand uniqueness are two things which go hand in hand. You need to market and position yourself right, but also keep a fact that your brand should be very unique if you want to be widely accepted by the masses, and not the masses, by the right people at the right time with the right product, I mean to say is. And like I feel uniqueness plays a strong role in that, and which would never change. And as like she also said, jewelry preferences, India is one of the only countries where like people love jewelry throughout the year. They don't need any occasion as per se. उनके पास extra पैसे हैं वो जाके jewelry ले लेंगे. It's like that sort of a mentality which never would change. And when we get lab grown diamonds into the industry, it moves their choices from being a bit more skeptical, being a bit more choosy and being conjuice, rather than you can go flamboyant about it. That's the best part.
Want to add?
So I think two things are happening over here. One is the rise of consumerism in India. So people are preferring brands over non-brands, right? But at the same time, the whole market is also exploding with respect to the number of products that people want to own. So, apart from just going in for brands, people also want to own more. Just look at you before the panel discussion, you asked that what are we wearing, right? So wearing brands all across the genre, right? So people will go for premium brands, people will go for mass brands also. So it all depends on where do you want to position yourself and whom do you want to reach out to. So I think a trade-off between reach and impact is what as brands we need to answer, and thereby we need to position ourselves.
Me, because we're all talking about jewelry, the value of trust is something that we can never sort of compromise on or underestimate. Trust really drives the purchase decision when it comes to jewelry in India. So historically, we've seen people buy from family jewelers probably because they have a connection or they're related in some way, and they can actually depend on these people. Now, as we're going forward, I think the whole industry is leaning towards a more organized play. But again, having said that, whether it is Tanishq or whether we're talking about Kalyans, Malabars, Joyalukas, all these brands are built on the foundation of trust. And any brand that comes in as an as a non-incumbent, also needs to focus a lot on trust and transparency and credibility.
So you made a very interesting point, and most of the lab-grown jewelers have the baggage of mind damage. You're talking about trust. Why do you need a gemological certificate? You build your own brand, people will trust you. You tell them it is a lab-grown brand. Why do you need a certificate? And the certification cost is more than the cost of the product sometimes. That's one point. Secondly, everybody knows the value of the brand, power of a brand, but you all don't invest in branding. What you see today, because the traditional media has given way to new media, everything happens on your phone. Instagram. Okay, fine. How many people are telling stories on Instagram? Sorry. You see random women talking about, hey, do you know what is a lab grown diamond? What the hell? Everybody is talking. कोई नहीं देखेगा आगे. ये story बताओ. अब दूसरी मैं आपको बात बताऊं. You are not even investing in your name. Sorry, you are new. You have a wonderful name. Firefly, Jugnu. Jugnu में कहानी बनाओ. You walk across, how many exhibitors would be there exhibiting lab grown diamond? Any guess? Any guess? 10, 15, 100, 50, 60? Take a round and come back here. If I ask you, tell me the names of a few brands, you'll not come up more than 5. So when I told these guys, what are you doing यार? क्या नाम है? कुछ भी नाम रहता है, मेरे को तो याद नहीं है. वो बोलता है अरे नाम की क्या जरूरत है, हम ब्रांड हैं. वो B2B में ब्रांड की क्या जरूरत है भैया? तो ब्रांडिंग ही नहीं समझते आप. देखो मैं बहुत मुंहफट आदमी. So according to me, all of you are neglecting one very important factor, is creating an experience and capitalizing on emotions. What are the basic emotions? Or there are only 7 story ideas. If you watch any Bollywood movie, it is the same, like, going on for ages. But there is an interpretation, there is an interplay. Emotions are, differently. So everybody who talks about consumer experience. What is the experience? Experience, we always talk about experience in the past tense. मेरे को ये experience आया, correct? So the thing is, people buy a product from you. सस्ता है, बड़ा है, महंगा, बड़ा है, सस्ता है, अच्छा है, वापस ले आओ. That is commoditizing. आपके ब्रांड में इतनी दम होनी चाहिए कि कोई दिखाए ये आयरिस का ब्रांड. And most importantly, we have talked about millennials, Gen Z, Henrys. You are neglecting a very important segment of people above 60s. You should make that your product category so exciting for them. See, these people like me, we have lived our life. We have money. We don't need our children's money. We want to give them. Is it exciting for me to buy a lab-grown diamond ring and give it to my daughter? I don't think so. तो ये प्रोडक्ट कैटेगरी आप एक्साइटिंग इस तरह से बना सकते हो कि अभी आप हिप हॉप ज्वेलरी की बात कर रहे हो. कोई नाना जी देखेंगे हिप हॉप, ये तो साले गुंडे पहनते हैं यार, मैं तो कभी नहीं दूं. सॉरी, आई एम पुलिंग योर लेग. सो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज मेक द brand so exciting. And what is an experience? It's a memory. The only thing that stays with you is memory. Everything else is temporary. Memory, first date, first breakup, okay, that's a negative memory, but first love, first breakup, first job, first child. So there are only about 7 ideas about love, to build a story around it. But what happens, अरे कौन खर्चा करेगा, हमारे पास तो पैसा नहीं है. तो मार्केटिंग और कम्युनिकेशन पे हमारी इंडस्ट्री में पैसा खर्चा करना कोई चाहता ही नहीं है. पैसा किधर है? मैं तो ज्यादा दुकान खोलता हूँ, आके देखेगा. भैया बंद हो जाएंगे आपकी दुकान यार. आपके प्रोडक्ट में सभी बोलते हैं मेरा प्रोडक्ट अच्छा है, प्रोडक्ट में दम है, तुम्हारे ब्रांड में दम है क्या? सॉरी टू से, नॉट मेनी. ठीक है ना? तो बिल्ड अ ब्रांड इन द ट्रू स्पिरिट. ऑल ऑफ यू आर वेरी वेल एजुकेटेड. यूएस में पढ़ा है, कनाडा में पढ़ा है, ये चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, शी इज ऑल्सो वेरी वेल. Don't get bogged down by what your predecessors did. I think a little bit of gyan here, but anything wants to talk about in a contrary fashion what I've said.
I disagreed with one of your
Okay,
points.
please.
Yeah. Because you said tap into the market of 60 plus or whatever. So my point of view is like, right, every brand, there are consumers in every age group. You cannot say that, a 60 plus will not buy a lab grown diamond, or, we don't know.
For gifting, not
Yeah,
for them.
for gifting or whatever. But I think as a brand, because we are so, we also have to make profits. So it's very important that we will focus on our direct target audience. So in that run somewhere, you have to ignore something which will be bringing in very less money, and you branding for that segment will not land. It's not a smart decision for you. So if your target audience is the millionaire and Gen Z, of course, your major marketing budget is going into that. So that's where I disagreed that, and but I also agree with the point that you were trying to make with the emotion bit. And we at Jiva also, we try to, tap into that emotion with help of our commercials. And I think jewelry is such a category, like you were saying, that it is a lot, related with the emotion, whether you are selling, whatever category, be it a hip hop jewelry, or be it, everyday jewelry or a luxury jewelry. It is, a boy proposing to the girl, or nowadays vice versa, and someone buying gift for their mom from their first salary. Jewelry always has that emotion, and I think that is something that is that helps a brand to build on that, and also gives you a story to tell. Yeah, and in marketing, I think with help of all the in the social media, it's very easy nowadays to tap into each kind of segment with help of the big influencers that there are across social media, be it YouTube, be it Instagram. So I think as a brand, you cannot leave any stone unturned. You have to focus on expanding your visibility in terms of social media, in terms of if you are into retail, then opening many stores, being present at the right catchment. So everything is doing marketing for you. Some of them will be loud, some of them will be very silent.
Okay, so why I made a statement, you may be right, and I'm not 100% correct. I'm learning from all of you. See, my daughter is very environmentally conscious, and she is a wildlife enthusiast. While she was studying in the US, uh, she was seeing someone from Mumbai only. They were studying in the US together. So my would-be son-in-law that time bought a lab-grown diamond ring, and he took her out on a hill station, and he kneeled down, typical romantic fashion, presented her with a lab-grown diamond ring, and so I did not know about this fact. In fact, so after a few months, they announced. They didn't say that we are engaged now. Proposal ring mil gaya hai. When she shared the picture of the ring, I said, "How much did it cost?" It was US dollars converted into rupees. It's about 5 lakhs or so. Then they shared the certificate. It was a lab-grown diamond ring. I had never told them. So there are people, and they bought that sustainability story. 2 years later, when they got married, my daughter came here, and she bought actually a lab-grown diamond Mangal Sutra pendant. And it was sponsored by her Sasuma. My daughter showed her, this is the pendant made from that. What nonsense. Asli lena, ye mat lena. See? We have to, why I'm saying is, though your consumer is millennial and Gen Z, you have to take everybody into consideration. That is my only way.
I totally agree. I think it is our responsibility to educate everyone, because we are the beginners of this category, and all of us are going to be our customers are going to be the early adopters of this category, is what I feel. And at the end, it is not always only the wearer, but the family that comes with that.
Again, I'll share a thought, and I will invite comments from all of you. यार तेरा वो हिप हॉप क्या है मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. मैं तो गजल सुनने वाला आदमी हूँ, but ठीक है. तेरा टारगेट ऑडियंस चाहता है ना, तो दे उसको.
See, as you rightly said before, you were too stubborn to change, so I'll just keep it to you. You are good with Gulsar and Mohammed Rafi.
Yes. जगजीत सिंह. गौरव, you agree? देखा? आजकल के बच्चे ना माँ बाप की कम सुनते हैं, इन्फ्लुएंसर की ज्यादा सुनते हैं. हाँ, तो ये इन्फ्लुएंसर जो कहना चीज, ये क्या चीज है? शी वाज मेंशनिंग माइक्रो इन्फ्लुएंसर, मेगा इन्फ्लुएंसर. ये मैंने सुना है, पढ़ा है, समझ में नहीं आता. So what I want you to do is share concrete examples where you engaged an influencer and you got the benefit out. Any one of you, all of you, chalo, start. Vidya, you start.
I think at Shark Tank, we engage the influencers, the mega influencers as sharks to endorse our brand.
Okay. What about consumers?
So when
In
they
the consumer
endorse it,
segment, yeah.
it reaches out to the consumers.
No, no. What I'm saying is, see, she mentioned micro influencer. So give her the mic. छोड़ूंगा नहीं.
Yes, so I think gone are the days when people got influenced by influencers. I think now we're living in the era of more user-generated content where people want authentic stories of actual customers using the brands, right? So one shift that we've seen with millennials and Gen Zs is that they rely more on user-generated content, which is UGC, than influencer marketing, because influencers are obviously paid and you can make that out. So as by engaging micro and macro influencers, what
Give
we
me a concrete example. Now you engage somebody, you got this benefit out. Theoretical मत बताओ.
Right. So we recently did an influencer activation. This influencer was a micro influencer, and she basically shares very honest stories and experiences with brands. And while she came as she came as an influencer to one of our stores, but what she shot and what she actually made was something that was totally on her. It was not our script. It was not influenced by the brand or any of my marketing team members. And those are the kind of campaigns that we rely on instead of engaging the mega influencers, because we think there is a level of authenticity and honesty that these videos and content carry. And that is what appeals to the younger generation.
Anybody wants to contribute?
Yeah, I personally feel that in terms of like we do not do a user generated content or any sort of a content and posted it. I have like IRL, like in real life examples, that what we did was us talking about how to change a belief of a guy as old as you, right? So
I'm not old, yeah.
I mean, you still like Mohammed Rafi, sir. So what can I say about it? Talking further, what I did was कि मैंने Cuban chain ली, मैंने अपने चाचू को, पापा को, खुद अपने भाइयों को, सबको पहना दी. पापा को स्टोर में सब देखते हैं. पापा इज ऑलरेडी हिमसेल्फ एन आइकन. मेरे दोस्त मुझे जानते हैं. वी मीट पीपल एंड वो देख के बोलता है, यार ये तूने क्या पहना है, कूल तो है. मैं किसी नानू को एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मैं अपने फ्रेंड के घर गया, वहां पे उसके नानू थे, तो वी वर हैविंग ड्रिंक्स एंड द नानू वाज लाइक, यार ये लड़का कौन है, इसने क्या पहना है, राइट, यू नो, ही वाज लाइक, व्हाट इज ही वेयरिंग. सो देन यू टेल द एंटायर स्टोरी ऑफ व्हाट दैट थिंग इज, एंड दैट्स हाउ I like we are low-key changing belief of people and getting them towards hip hop jewelry without getting in influencers. Like in this situation, we low-key ourselves are influencers because we are consuming our own product and displaying it to the society.
Okay, इन्होंने कुछ मोहम्मद रफी के खिलाफ कहा ना, तो मैं छोड़ूंगा नहीं. सोनू निगम आप सब जानते हैं. Millennial, Gen Z, everybody likes. Sonu Nigam recently did a concert. It was titled, what was it? 100 साल पहले मुझे तुमसे प्यार था. 100 साल पहले. All tickets sold out. He sang only Mohammad Rafi's song. And you know what was the price of the ticket? $10,000. So what are you talking, man? You are talking about legacy. So nothing against you, but there is a, what I'm trying to say is that that's an experience. Nostalgia is a very powerful emotion. Identify nostalgia and build a story around it. इतना ही मैं बोलूंगा. ठीक है ना? तो अभी क्या है, मैंने देखा कई लोग निकल के जा रहे हैं, बोर हो रहे हैं. Let's invite a comment from them. Please give him a mic. We want to be interactive, okay? We don't have all the answers. In fact, you want to express an opinion or ask?
I have a few questions. The questions.
So please ask one. They will come back to you again,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
please ask only one.
In one session only, I came here to hear from these young minds. I am an aspiring jewelry exporter myself, and I wanted some answers, some queries I have. So first and foremost, lab grown is something which is not finite. You can set up machines and you can have as many of them as you want. So how do we address the falling prices in the future? How do we add any, like, make sure that there's some value, however low it may be, but how is there some value attached to it? And commensurate with those falling prices, how do you see the naturally mined diamonds market behaving in the future? And how to tackle with that in the long term?
Anybody wants to take a guess?
Sir, I feel if you are like too scared of the falling prices, my honest suggestion would be build a brand. That's like the only answer I
Yeah,
can
that I
give.
understand. That's like baseline. But in context of diamonds right now, talking about grown diamonds.
I mean, देखिए सर, मैं आप आ रहे हैं एक्सपोर्टर पर्सपेक्टिव से, बट लाइक एज अ रिटेलर ऑफ लाइक द थिंग्स आई नो कि ब्रांडिंग इज द ओनली की विच कैन जो आपके ताले को खोल सकती है, क्योंकि अगर आप प्राइस तो देखिए, प्राइस आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं है, प्राइस इज कमोडिटाइज, मार्केट आप नहीं चलाते, मैं नहीं चलाता, मार्केट पूरी दुनिया इकोनॉमी, दैट्स हाउ द इकोनॉमी वर्क्स. एज ऑफ नाउ आई वुड टेल वी आर एट अ हाई सप्लाई एंड नॉट हाई सप्लाई एंड अ डिसेंट डिमांड फेज. सो जब इक्विलिब्रियम आएगा, प्राइसेस रेगुलेट हो जाएंगे, तब तक आपके पास टाइम में आप ब्रांड बना लो.
See, you mentioned a very valid point about, sorry.
He's answering.
Let me finish. It's in response to what you said. See, he mentioned about the price. मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले कहा था, you understand price, but you don't understand the value. So the answer is creating a brand, and there is a value. बोलते हैं ना, investment. So there is an investment in lab-grown diamonds, and that is an emotional investment. So unless and until you create brands, there won't be an emotional identity.
I'll say do not sell it as a financial investment. So if you are honest and you know what the product is, it is not finite, it is unlimited, and you will not be able to control the prices. No one can, right? The manufacturers are X. It's unlimited, so you just cannot control it. So do not sell it off to your consumers as an investment. The answer is there. That's it.
Yeah, I think one more thing I would add is, I mean, I think we try the same thing, that we try not to sell it as an investment, and as much as possible, that is what we should tell, because that is what the reality is. But I think a lot of consumers still come in and still are looking at the jewelry, are thinking about the value of the gold in that, are thinking about, okay, how much is gold, how much is diamond, right? So the question still comes up, and it's a tricky one to answer. And I don't think anyone can see and think about exactly how it's going to play out in the next few years, because prices might, come down a little bit. But I think we expect demand should be coming up. See, I think there is some floor, and that floor will be based on what the actual cost of the production and the different players in the value chain is. And then above that cost, there's the margin that people have to make to be able to run a business profitably, and then to offer the experience that the customer wants. So I think what we try to focus on, and I think will become more and more important, is that experience that you're giving. Because if someone is buying it for an engagement or for some special occasion, it's not purely about the price or the value of the product. It's the price and the investment piece plus that special emotional aspect.
See
So,
sorry, please.
I mean, that was basically the point. I think you focus more on that secondary piece, and they're creating some kind of different experience and still giving them the feeling that, wow, I'm buying something very special. Then I think in other categories, handbags and other places, no one looks at what the cost of the raw materials is over there and whether that's finite or not. So that's kind of the category that will have to be created here.
So what is helping lab-grown diamonds is the fact that the mined diamond prices are falling, 40%, 50%. And if you see, gold prices are escalating. In India, at least in India, diamond never made it to the asset class. Okay, you ask any expert. Last week, there was a huge feature in Mint, where I'm not a financial expert or an advisor. In fact, your mentor, what is the name of that lady, Edelweiss Wali? What's her? Radhika Gupta. She has made a statement in the last 4 years, zero returns. So what I'm trying to say is why we are talking about investment and buyback and everything is because we are jewelers. So we still have that baggage with us. Anybody else wants to ask? Yes, Gaurav. How many more people want to ask questions? Please, we'll take one more. Anybody has? Okay. If anybody has, okay. You are the last. You are giving me the same gun which I gave you.
Give a lot of space time to the export guy. You gotta give us some extra time, dude. Nah.
No, we need 1 hour. Anyway, let's not waste time. Come on.
So what I personally feel is actually no one in India is in the business of jewelry. Everyone is in the business of insurance. Because if I have never seen a like jewelry store selling diamond jewelry without a buyback policy. Never ever in India at least. So actually no one is in the business of jewelry. We're in the business of insurance. And if we can like fulfill the commitment what we have made, you're going to sustain everything no matter what the price is. That's how I look at the jewelry business.
And they're giving buyback assurance because less than 10% come back.
That's what the whole thing is. No one is going to die tomorrow morning. So that's how the insurance company runs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you need to do.
Bang on.
So
Bang
you
on.
need to understand that. Firstly, secondly, to answer your question, what you are trying to ask everyone is like you need to understand who is the like influencer in each and every family so that you can market it to them in their way. So you need to market to the millennial in a different way and to the influencer if the millennial is not making that much money and he's going to be asked his mother or father for the purchase, then you need to influence them as well. So it has to go hand in hand. So that's how like you need to do it.
Very well
You
said.
have to map the whole customer journey.
Very well
Then
said.
only you can do it. It's not that easy, but it's gonna take time.
So we'll take one last question. Gaurav, huh?
Hello.
Yes, please. Please give the mic to.
Yeah, hi, sir. Sir, Mr. Anil Prabhagar, sir, you are conducting this session very well, and we are eager to listen from everybody. And I am asking my question very common point of view. Um, so, actually, for the lab-grown diamond, what is the market? That is a one question. The second one is what is when the difference between natural diamonds and the lab-grown diamond? Very common point of view. What is the reaction from the customers when you are doing this business? We would really love to understand from the customer's point of view when we are doing the business, because we are sitting here to understand what is the market we can enter to this market. So we will definitely like to know that from your side. And Anil sir, we would really love to listen from them also. Give us space for them.
They'll only,
That's a very
they'll only
important question.
answer because they are retailers. I'm not.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Anybody wants to volunteer? What is the consumer acceptance? That is what, in brief, he wants to ask.
So I think there's a journey for a customer. One is awareness, whether you know about lab diamonds or not. If you're not aware, your first interaction is where you are making the customer aware about what the product is. I don't think a buying behavior will happen at that moment. Then there is a research phase where a customer goes back, does some research, ensures that what you are saying is the truth. And once he understands that, if he's still convinced, he will go and buy. So, till the time your awareness is not happening and then a research is not happening, lab diamonds cannot be sold.
Does that answer your question? Anyway, so I think we are done for the day. Or you want to add something?
Actually, I just wanted to add some to what Nipun just said. I think once a customer actually adopts lab-grown diamonds, there's no going back. Because once you wear it and once you get the confidence in the product that they're just like natural diamonds, they last forever. You can like literally do all your chores wearing these jewelry and nothing really happens out of them. What we've seen is the repeats, the frequency of repeat is much higher in this category once you get the consumer confidence, and they will probably never go back to natural diamonds. That's what we've seen.
I'd like to add the last thing from my side. I feel both natural diamond industry and lab grown diamond industry are two separate different things. We are not here to like straight up set war. I feel the person who likes naturals would do natural, would do lab grown as well. You can change his belief, but अगर उसको natural वापस लेनी है तो लेने दो ना यार. What my concern is कि हमारी लड़ाई सिर्फ ज्वेलरी की कैपिटलिस्टिक अप्रोच से है, ज्वेलरी से नहीं. सो नेचुरल भी चलेगा, लैब ग्रोन भी चलेगा. रोक सकते हो तो रोक लो. That's it.
Great. So I'll make an announcement on your behalf.
Yeah. One thing.
Okay.
They have disconnected. No. so I was saying that I mean, he said it very right. You know, people will buy diamond. They are not here to buy natural or whatever. They are coming for diamond. And one very interesting fact that we, saw and realized at Jiva that Imagine someone stepping into a silver store, coming with the mindset of buying a 2,500 max jewelry and going out with a diamond in their hand. So that is the kind of power this category has. Okay. So I think that one example should set the expectation that how big the market for lab grown is going to be.
I'd like to thank you all for coming today and having this wonderful session. Before we conclude, I'd like to ask Mr. Prabhakar to felicitate all of the panelists today.
Okay, I'll do that. But in addition to the felicitation, we have a gift for you. It's food for thought. In addition, we would also like to present each one of you with a copy of India's only magazine dedicated to the lab grown diamond industry. And for doing that, I would invite Rajesh, Reena, Satyam. Please. शोले फिल्म तो एक बसंती का डायलॉग आ गया। वैसे तो हमको बात करने की आदत नहीं है, आपकी बातों में वक्त का पता ही नहीं चला।
Thank you all for coming today. We'll soon begin with the next session immediately. So requesting all to settle down and take your seats.
Announcement ka next now. Next, we're starting.